I'm Mr. Bob, and this is Serious Business. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the German Bundestag election, which is coming up on the 24th of September. And we're going to talk about the German political parties explained in a way that dumb Anglophones can understand. There are 6 main political parties in Germany. You could say 7 because one has 2 different versions depending on the region of Germany you're in. Anyway, we can divide this in half. 3 parties are considered historically on the center-left, 3 parties historically on the center-right. So if we want to compare this to many other countries, it might be best to look at them as in left-right blocks, even though that's not necessarily the way they join together in governments. So on the left, we have the left party, the Linke, at around 10% of the vote. The Green party, the Grüne, at 10% of the vote as well, roughly, probably a little bit less this time. And the Social Democratic Party, which used to win upwards of 35% or so of the vote usually, is only clocking in opinion polls around 20 right now. So we could say broadly, the SPD, Social Democratic Party, is the right-wing half of the left. So it would be like Hillary Clinton voters in the United States, or maybe Trudeau center-left liberals in Canada, as opposed to the New Democratic Party or Greens, or the right faction of the Labour Party in Australia, or in the UK. The left and the Greens, each at 10%, would divide the left half of the center-left. The Greens being the more culturally oriented New Left faction, and the Linke, which is descended from, in part at least, from the old Communist Party, the Socialist Unity Party of Germany in East Germany, would be the sort of economically oriented old left. It's still Eurosceptic and so on like this. So you have the sort of globalist cosmopolitan New Left in the Greens, and the old work-oriented left with the Linke. So you could say within the Bernie Sanders coalition, the Greens would be more like the millennials, and Linke would be more like the trade unionist and the traditional anti-NAFTA, anti-Wall Street sentiment. Within the UK, the Greens would be like the Greens, and the left would be like the Corbynites and George Galloway supporters, Dennis Skinner, and so on like this, in the Labour Party. On the centre-right, you can say that the Free Democratic Party is considered classically liberal, or vaguely classically liberal, not quite libertarian like Ron Paul or something like this. Although there is a wing of the party which thinks this way, and they've gone a little bit in that direction. But they would be something of a mix of like liberal Republicans, maybe Clintonite Democrats and libertarians. They're at about 10% of the vote. Then you have on the other side of the right the Alternative for Germany, which is a new party. It's almost got into parliament last time. Now it looks like it's going to double its vote. And it's considered sometimes now far-right, which means basically just it's nationalist. It's not far-right in an entire, across-the-board traditional sense like the old National Front under Jean-Marie Le Pen had been. It's not particularly radical on issues outside of immigration. In fact, one of its main political leaders is a lesbian. So it's generally, though, comparable to the more populist wing of Trump voters in America, or to the UKIP voters in the UK. There's probably no Canadian equivalent that's easy to identify, and that David Orchard has retired from politics, but the One Nation party in Australia. In between that, with 35 to about 42% of the vote, is the Christian Democratic Union, Christian Social Union, CDU-CSU. CSU is the Bavarian equivalent. It's a bit more classically conservative, a bit more right-wing. But the CDU would stretch from, say, the middle of the Democratic Party, this is sort of center-right, the Democratic Party in America, to sort of mainline conservatives in the Republican Party. It would broadly align with the Conservative Party in Canada, although it's probably a little bit more welfare-oriented. It would align a bit with the Conservative Party in Britain. Of course, in its own context, it's not nearly as Eurosceptic, but within the same political system, that's roughly what you have. It's a catch-all for the centre-right within Germany right now, with a more liberal leadership. But it has a wing, a very sort of left liberal wing right now that slavishly follows Merkel, and this would be like part of the Clinton, the right wing of Clinton supporters in America that aren't really into identity politics and things like this, but that support the general sort of neoliberal globalist agenda, and it would stretch all the way over to the Ted Cruz's and Marco Rubio's and so on like that. Anyway, so this was serious business about the German elections. I hope it educated you.